All right, young man. Good morning to you. How are you doing?
Good morning, Big O. I'm doing well. Getting ready for one last weekend of freedom before we lock in for training camp, and it's every day after that. Finally, football season is nearly upon us.
There you go. Freedom. Kind of like freedom for your money. Anyway,
Oh, that's going well.
that's an understatement. And now the altcoins are all going to explode now as they're starting to move now. So Ethereum is really moving now, and all the other ones will start. Well, the good ones will start climbing. So that'll be a lot of fun over the next couple of months. Um, it looks like second round picks are starting to fall in line, and we're seeing how the different percentages and the guarantees and all of that. I know people are they put so much. It's almost like I don't think people really have paid attention to the off season, where the entire off season there's been zero urgency in anything done. And so I love how people are killing themselves. Oh my God, we got to get Savanaya in there. And yeah, you got to get him in there. But I'm not sure what you're thinking is what they're thinking, right? At least in the front office and above. I don't think they have a big picture sense of, oh my God, we got to get ready because we're a playoff or Super Bowl caliber type team. We can take our time doing any of this stuff this offseason.
I'm sorry. Who was that player that you said?
Savanaya.
Yeah. All right. There we go. Yeah, that was a little better.
Oh, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I know that. It's all right.
You've mastered it already, I think, from what I hear you
Oh
say.
yeah. Right, Jonas Savainaya.
Savainaya. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah. He broke it down for us. First, Savai, like Hawaii,
Hawaii?
like
Hawaii,
Hawaii.
Savai. Okay.
Yeah, and then Naya, Savai Naya,
Savainaya. Savainaya.
Naya, Naya.
Savainaya. All right.
Yeah. All
So
right, we're getting it. We're getting
there's
it now.
no urgency in anything done. You know, Johnu Smith. Oh, I want money. Okay, we'll trade you. It's trading picks for next year. I just think people, whether it's media or fans, they have a way of putting a lot of urgency on something, and I don't think it's there. So
Mm.
answer the question of there's not really that urgency on that side. And two, when the hell is this thing going to get done, you think?
Yeah, because now we're coming down to it. It's the final weekend before camp, and actually rookies were already reporting this week. So really the Dolphins are behind on this, but really that's just what was going on around league circles. So yeah, since we last spoke, then the 49ers got to deal with Alfred Collins. So that sort of was the first domino outside of those first two that did sign their deals. So the guaranteed money that he got was about 87% of the contract value. So then you start to put that figure, compare it to where, are you going to do it based on where they were drafted? So Jonas Avainaya was 37th overall. Collins of the 49ers was 43. If you're Jonah's side, do you decide, hey, so if he got 87%, we want 88, 89 into 90%? Or are you going based off that percentage, but knowing that a higher draft pick gets a little bit more money, so you already get some more based off where you were taken, with the Dolphins trading up to land him. So now it is coming down to it, and really, yeah, what you said, the Dolphins front office hasn't operated with a lot of the same urgency that maybe the fan base views certain matters. John Smith, everyone's on the outside is like, how are you going to let this guy go? Why aren't you paying him? Pay John. And they're saying no. Now they're taking a hard stance. Maybe learning some lessons from last year where they appeased everyone and anyone who wanted guarantees, wanted some extra money, a new extension. And we already saw how that didn't play out well with the Jalen Ramsey situation. I mean, shoot, Tyreek Hill. I bet they wish they weren't on the hook for all those guarantees going into this year, but they are, and they hope they can get some semblance of the old him back this year. But you're right; it's been a pivot in the stance that the Dolphins front office has taken. So They may be playing some hardball, but then now also the way the league is going, if they are going to start guaranteeing more money for second rounders, then you can't end up being the only one that's not doing it.
Hey, look, man, and as I told a couple of people in the building, guys, sometimes we have to assess our information. They didn't like what I told them, but you made a mistake with Rob Hunt. That's just the way it is. They inside the building, there's a little more pain on Van Ginkel, actually, but still they're worried about long-term health with him. So we'll see if that does end up, because I still hear people say, well, they made a mistake with Wilkins. Actually, they did not. They made a great decision with Wilkins, but yet they want to hold that against them. So it's kind of weird in the dynamic and the way things are looked at when it comes to the Dolphins in some of these decisions. And so hindsight is 2020, right? And the market changes. And unfortunately, now you're going to have to pay guards that are really good. It was just Rob Hunt was the beginning of that whole process of guards are going to be valued more, and Miami was unwilling to go there, which they should have, and they didn't. Now they paid the price. Well, now here comes the new wave. The new wave is because of these idiots at the front of the draft, there's going to be a percentage of that second round pick money that you're going to have to guarantee. So whether the Dolphins like it or not, like the Rob Hunt thing, at least this one is kind of like a hurricane. You can see it coming, you can prepare for it now, and you can do something about it. The Rob Hunt one was kind of like a tornado. You had no idea guards were going to be worth that kind of money moving forward, and you got walloped and you made a quick decision there, and you thought you made the right one. I thought they made the right one. I thought I wouldn't have paid Rob Hunt either. I didn't want to pay Wilkins. Well, they agreed with me on that one. The Rob Hunt one, I have to admit, I was off. I don't know where you were on Rob Hunt, but I'm wrong on Rob Hunt.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if you had Rob Hunt today, then you wouldn't need to trade up in the second round to go and get another guard, and you could have used that for something else. And now, granted, you also would have been down a lot more in the depths with the money you had available, because you would have had to pay your guard a lot of money. Jonas Avainaya, you're going to get him on a rookie deal for the next 4 years, and yes, also.
By the way, $8 million of Daniel's money comes off of Hunt, so it's only 12 more. Okay, so it's only 12 more. You can figure. You know what? If you were smart enough not to sign Tyreek, you would have been all right with that.
Yeah, giving him those guarantees. The extension that Jalen Ramsey got. Right. Yeah. So yeah, all that factors in, right, in where you place your priorities. But it was kind of shocking that 23 offseason, or after the 23 season, 24 offseason, when guards started getting paid all that money, because you never expected that figure to be what Rob Hunt was going to get, and then you saw what it was going for, what the market was going for, and then I guess you said, okay, all right, easy decision. You let him walk. We're not doing that over here. And okay, if the Carolina Panthers, you're looking at, those are the Carolina Panthers. Let them do whatever they want to do. With Christian Wilkins, it was the Raiders, and you're saying, all right, yeah, go ahead, Raiders, you do what you want and pay Christian Wilkins all that money. And of course, it's the hindsight. Wilkins has been hurt since with the foot injury. He was still in a boot last time, like a month ago, when he was seen in a social media post. You don't know what his status is for Raiders camp, but with Rob Hunt, yeah, I remember talking to Dave Canales at owners meetings that offseason, the Carolina Panthers coach, and he was talking about a mindset of building inside out on the offensive line. I guess really in the trenches, really on both sides. So it was a little bit of a shift from valuing the tackles and the edge rushers so much as those premium positions, and then now also placing some importance on the interior of the offensive and defensive line. And then that's what you saw happen between the Hunt and Wilkins things. But certainly the one that hurts the most was Van Ginkel, because that was a very reasonable price tag to bring back AVG when you had Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips both rehabbing an injury. Phillips started off the year, but then got hurt again. And Chubb, you never had him at all last season. So to go with Chop Robinson as a rookie, even though you never saw Shaq Barrett play, but then you brought Emmanuel Oliver back. If you had ABG, then that defense could have, that pass rush still could have really been something if you had him.
Yeah, I'm with you there. The Zach Sieler situation. So I'm looking at this and I'm wondering, are the Dolphins the bad guys here?
Huh. I mean, they did agree to a contract extension that was considered fair value, but that was before 2 seasons ago, when now he's put together back-to-back 10-sack seasons.
Well, it's only one season. It's only one season. He only got one season. That's it. The new contract is one season. That's it. Right? Isn't it one season? Wasn't it last year that he got a new contract?
I feel like it was it last year or the year before? I feel like now.
Didn't Wilkins and him both get new contracts? Wasn't it like that? Wilkins left and he got his deal here and Wilkins got his deal there.
I'm thinking 2 off seasons. I'm thinking 2 off seasons as opposed to right. So you have one season.
It was last season.
Right.
Okay.
It's been 2 off seasons, 1 season in between. That's right.
No. It's 1 season.
Right. 1 season. Yeah.
1 season.
But you had this off season, the off season before. That's why I thought 2 is what I'm saying. But yeah, 1 season.
So I'm just wondering, bro, but why are the Dolphins the bad guys? Why are, and I know you guys don't do the headlines, but I read in the Herald, Zach Sieler deserves a raise and his peers are watching. Will the Dolphins negotiate with Zach Sieler in good faith? Those are misleading headlines, bro. You're painting the Dolphins in a terrible picture. The headline, now you tell me, is it responsible what the headline reads by the Miami Herald, or let me create a better and more objective headline? After creating a fantastic deal for the team, the Dolphins find themselves in a difficult position with Zach Sieler. Is that not better? Because
yeah, I would still tweak it around a little bit, but
no. My problem with all of this is, okay, the sensationalism bullshit that you guys pull off, okay, with Jonnu and now with Zach Sieler. Bro, you guys are penalizing the Dolphins for being great negotiators. They negotiated phenomenal deals for that's their job. They're not being evil. The agent and the player agreed to the deal. Okay? The fact that none of you in the media, including you, go out and say, hey, Drew Rosenhaus was at fault here in the Jonnu Smith situation. He negotiated a bad contract and put his player and the Dolphins in a bad situation. Nobody ever mentions that. We just mentioned that the Dolphins are bad people because the front office undressed the fucking agent. And they did it again to the agent. Okay? So I'm just wondering, why is it that the Dolphins are painted in the negative picture instead of the media should be bragging like, after negotiating a great deal, Zach has now outperformed, so the Dolphins now may have to renegotiate. Whatever. But it should be a little bit more fair than, will the Dolphins negotiate with Zach Sieler in good faith? Well, wait a minute. Didn't they reach out and get him from a practice squad and gave him an opportunity and a contract and then gave him a contract now? They've done everything in good faith. And I'm sure, just like they gave Jalen Ramsey money he didn't deserve, or Tyreek or whatever, eventually they'll give it to Sieler, because eventually either we make fun of them for doing good deals or we make fun of them for doing a bad deal. It's kind of strange, isn't it?
Now, also understanding the headline. So you're talking about Omar Kelly's column. That's a column, so that's his opinion that he's putting in the headline. So I do.
I'm just telling you, it's a load of shit wherever it comes from. The Herald, the Sentinel, the Post, ESPN, whatever. Whoever phrases it like this, you're full of shit. Okay, that's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point. You're misleading the public. You're lying to them. You're making the team completely look evil when all they did was a responsible, respectable, and really smart contract. And then when they do a bad one, we're going to kill them for good contracts and we're going to kill them for bad contracts. That's horrible media, bro.
Yeah. Now don't lump me into that because I haven't participated.
I don't know. I got to go back and look at your headlines.
Yeah.
But if you're
I haven't touched on this one.
If you're talking in this sense with the Jonnu or the Sieler situation, yeah, I would have to throw you and lump you in there with the rest of them because this is just sensationalistic bullshit because it's slow and let's create more controversy where there is no controversy, bro. That's Drew Rosenhaus's problem. That's Zach Sieler's problem, not the Dolphins. Not the Dolphins. You should be writing that, hey, Drew Rosenhaus screwed up with Jonnu Smith and screwed up with Zach Sieler and has put the Dolphins in a tough situation on a consistent basis when all they've done is negotiate good deals. Where does that ever come out? It just doesn't. And that's what I don't like. I'm going to slam people too. You know that. But I'm also going to call it like it is too. And I don't think we're doing that in general with them at times. You can pick on the easy stuff, the low-hanging fruit, the Tyreek Hill. Well, a lot of you wanted Tyreek. I didn't. But, or the Jalen Ramsey one or something like that, or Rob Hunt. But in this one, they're not as bad as people are making them out to be, man. I think it's unfair. That's just me.
Yeah, no. I was just saying it's important to differentiate that those are columns, opinion stories, opinion pieces. Me as a beat writer, so I'm writing things down the middle. I'm not incorporating my opinion so much into my writing. But I mean, I've expressed it on, touched on these topics on this podcast, on our own platforms with the Sun Sentinel Dolphins Deep Dive. I haven't participated in slamming the Dolphins for finding the good contracts. I mean, I've been on here on your program with you, giving them credit for the Jonnu Smith deal. And now I'm also not on the other side of bashing Rosenhaus. That was just what Jonnu was going for at that time. He was just released by the Falcons.
Right.
He was also coming off a couple bad years with the Patriots, where he did get paid before that. Coming off the
wait a minute. But if Zach Sieler had the same amount of sacks the year before, did Drew Rosenhaus really negotiate a great contract this time around?
Yeah, fair point. There were questions about, okay, well, could he do it when he's not alongside Christian Wilkins? And yeah, I mean, honestly, you look at that figure, and I always thought the Dolphins got away with a great deal here. But there's other factors like, does the player want to stay with this team? Does he like the situation here, the family, things like that? I'm sure his wife is very happy with being in South Florida with the Dolphins.
You're helping me.
Okay,
that was the player's decision. That's the agent's decision.
Oh, yes. Right.
They want to stay here. They want to sign. They want to sign this contract. So let's leave the Dolphins out of the damn equation. The Dolphins will they negotiate with Zach Sieler in good faith? That's a load of horseshit, bro. That's a load of horseshit. That's my point. You can't phrase it that way because in no way or shape or form have the Dolphins been bad to Zach Sieler.
Right.
If anything, they're the ones that brought him out of hibernation that he was in some practice squad and exposed him, and he got to grow and become a player, and he's made a name for him. People love him here. I'm sure they're going to give him the money, bro.
He's been a class act. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to negotiate somewhere, find some middle ground, whatever they're looking for. Because at the end of the day, he does turn 30 actually on week 1. So when the season starts, he's 30 years old on that day, September 7th, when the Dolphins play the Colts. So yes, he's done amazing for you, especially these last couple of years, putting together those 10 sack seasons. He was already great before that, playing his role in run defense, in complementing Christian Wilkins when they were the tandem together, that salt and pepper tandem. Now he has been the guy, and but you also give out contracts based on projections of what they're going to do for the duration of the contract. Now, I'm not saying Zach Sieler is going to be on any downturn, but he's turning 30, so once players get to that stage, yes, you are looking at it a little bit differently as opposed to if he was doing this coming off a rookie deal where he's 25, 26, then that player you are giving loads of money. Those are the top, the cream of the crop that are going to get the huge bucks in free agency. So, yes, you are projecting when you give out these deals. And that was a projection going into the previous season. And, hey, he proved once again that he could put together a 10-sack season when it's not Christian Wilkins next to him. Obviously, Calais Campbell was a tremendous teammate to have alongside him on the defensive line. I think Kenneth Grant will be as well as he gets entrenched here as a rookie and will provide another nice compliment. But yes, now I could see how Zach Sieler feels because you did prove yourself with another 10-sack campaign, doing the things you do in the run game as well as providing the interior pass rush. And so, yeah, he's entitled to want some more as well.
Yes, I have no problem with that. I just don't like phrasing it. They just signed a year ago, bro.
Right.
The guy, okay, he outperformed the contract. Okay, they can look at it, but it's like, dude, nobody held a gun to your head. You haven't been playing on your fifth rookie year of your rookie deal, and it's like $700,000, and you're acting like the Cincinnati Bengals, and you're not paying them, and you're dragging out none of that has gone on. You hit free agency. You had an opportunity at a free agent contract. The Dolphins rewarded you. You agreed to that contract. Don't make them the bad guy now. That's the part I don't understand. They're not the bad guy in the Jonnu Smith situation. They're not the bad guy here either. They're getting penalized for negotiating really favorable deals for their team. So we have to praise those kind of deals because we're going to do a lot of slamming for the bad ones. So it's so easy to do that, man. I just find like it's not fair sometimes the way we handle it because we're too used to, we want too much of the headline grabbing to get the reader or the viewer or whatever it is that you do in this business. It's just kind of crazy, dude.
I know. Actually, let me correct you on earlier. It was August 2023 when that contract was. Yeah, okay. August 2023. It was like right at the end of camp. I remember because I remember like seeing the notifications right after our season preview story. It was like a Sunday when our season preview story came out and our section. And so it was before 23. So yeah, he did have the two double-digit sack seasons since one with one without.
So then it's an even better deal negotiated.
Yeah. That was before all that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got what you got from him as a street free agent, and then you've gotten what you got from him the last 2 years. I think praise needs to be given, and eventually he'll get his money, dude. I mean, whatever. They don't have the money right now.
That's
so right. So is it something that you wait towards the end? See, here's my thing. Okay, you know me, I'm cynical because I've been around this a long time. I think you want to trade Tyreek and Chubb on the trading deadline. I think you didn't want to rush Chubb last year, rush him back, even though he might have been able to play some. or whatever. Just get him healthy this year. He's completely healthy. Tyreek, he's motivated. You're probably not going to be a championship caliber team or maybe even a playoff team. By the time the deadline rolls around, you're going to have an opportunity, if Chubb is having a good season, if Tyreek is having a good season, to unload those two for more future picks, which is a thing that's already happened twice this offseason. And this allows you to build more for the future, unload those salaries. And then when you unload those salaries, you open up cap space. Boom. Zach Sieler gets his contract on the back end of the year.
That I could see that as plausible if the Dolphins have a rough first half of the year. But I know.
Come on.
I know we differ on this because I look at the first half schedule and I see the Dolphins actually starting out with several wins there. I see them having a strong first half, feeling like they're competing, and then the second half is where it gets stronger. That middle part, that 3-game stretch where you have the Ravens, the Bills, and the Commanders, and then some of those on the back end. I feel like that's where it gets tough. So I feel like they will win some games early on.
To play that schedule game last year when you're rolling.
I know.
Yeah. And some of the Jet games, and would you like to go over some of those games? Tennessee. Would you like to go over some of those games that you also thought were going to be winnable games too? I'm just wondering.
Right. Now a lot of those happened with Tua out. So that was the big caveat there. So if Tua stays healthy, that's the big qualifier. If Tua is healthy for these games.
You just can't be honest, can you? You just can't. Deep down inside, you know it's not a playoff team. You know it's not a playoff team. And
I think it's a team that's going to be coming right down to week 18 for a playoff spot.
And deep down inside, you know Mike McDaniel is not the guy. Come on, admit it. Mike McDaniel's not the guy. Admit it. Go ahead.
He last season brings you back a little bit on the Mike McDaniel vibe, where you feel he's at. But I believe in that he is trying to incorporate physicality, which was the missing aspect, into the offense, which I want to see this season and how it plays out to make some grand determination. But I wasn't going to fire him after you just extended him right before last season. Yeah, especially when he had two out. When he had two out for so many games.
There's a contract you can pick on the front office for. See, we have contracts to bring the conversation full circle. These are the contracts we can pick on them for. Extending Mike McDaniel. It's one of them too. All right, what do you got going on the Sentinel so folks can check you out leading into camp?
Yeah, we just wrapped up our countdown to camp series. So I put out the final one today, which was can the Dolphins get Tyreek Hill, return to consistently getting Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle the ball. We've had a few others since we last spoke. I put out one on weighing the pros and cons of the offseason youth movements. So, out with the veterans, in with a lot of the rookies and the youngsters coming in. So breaking that down. So our countdown to camp headlines, there's 10 of them, 5 by me, 5 by Chris Perkins, are available at sunsentinel.com to read before the Dolphins veterans report on Tuesday and first practice Wednesday next week.
Don't forget, Welt Rheaume, proud sponsors of our program, 954-966-4646. We are in hurricane season, but does it really matter anymore? It could be any kind of water event nowadays. There's so much humidity in the air now that when you get showers, you get downpours. And then that could create floods. That could create leaks in your roof. You got brown spots. Call Jeff Welt and Daniel Rheaume. They'll send their adjusters over, and then they'll call the insurance company. Never call the insurance company. When something like this happens to you, you call Welt Rheaume, 954-966-4646. They send their adjusters, they assess the damage, and then they attack the insurance company for you. If you're dealing with bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, give them a ring. Consultations completely free. 954-966-4646. 46-46.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.